Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeremy Lai from the Lee Kong Chian School of Business, and I will be your master of ceremony today. The ceremony will begin shortly. Please take your seats now. Thank you. We request that all mobile phones and beeping devices to be turned off or switched to the silent mode. Please also be seated throughout the entire ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Grand Processional, led in by the award winners of the class of 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to sing the national anthem of Singapore. SMU Chamber Choir will now lead us in the national anthem.
Mari kita rakyat Singapura sama-sama menuju bahagia. Cita-cita kita yang mulia, berjaya Singapura. Marilah kita bersatu dengan semangat yang baru. Semua kita berseru, majulah Singapura.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. We now invite the Chancellor of SMU, Mr. J.Y. Pillay, to officially open this year's commencement. Chancellor, please.
On behalf of Singapore Management University, I am pleased to extend the warmest welcome to our distinguished guests, faculty, graduates, and family members. I hereby declare Commencement 2018 open.
Thank you, Chancellor. May we invite everyone to take your seats. Good afternoon, guest of honor, Mr. Heng, Keat, Minister for Finance, SMU Chancellor, Mr. J.Y. Pillay, SMU Chairman, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, SMU Board of Trustees, SMU President, Professor Arnold de Meyer, senior management, faculty, distinguished guests, graduating class of 2018, and family members. A very warm welcome to Commencement 2018. I would now like to invite up SMU Chairman, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping on stage. Chairman, please.
Guest of honor, Mr. Heng Keat, Minister for Finance, Mr. J.Y. Pillay, Chancellor of SMU, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty and staff of SMU, the class of 2018, parents and guests, good afternoon, and welcome to the opening ceremony of SMU Commencement 2018. Every year, and it's been for longer than I can even remember, I'm taken aback at how quickly and how much SMU has grown since our very first cohort of 309 students only graduated in 2004. And today, just 14 years later, over 2,000 students will graduate from 6 schools in different commencement ceremonies with a diverse range of undergraduate and postgraduate programs. SMU's founding concept included being more than a typical business school, and diversity among our students and developing a multidisciplinary approach to education were always our key priorities. When I read earlier the list of degrees being awarded, and as I look at all of you before me now, I see that we have achieved some of our goals. Diversity among our students and the breadth of our academic programs are at the very foundation of the broad-based, holistic, and integrated education that is the hallmark of SMU. Other essential factors are inculcating a sense of social responsibility through an obligation to complete 80 hours of community service before graduating, and encouraging global exposure through business study missions, overseas internships, and overseas community services. Over the last few years, we've developed our pedagogy even further through initiatives such as SMU X to develop collaborative problem-solving skills in tackling real-world challenges. A recent book by Professor Tom Malone, Professor of Management at the MIT Sloan School of Management and author of the book entitled The Future of Work, has coined the term superminds. And a supermind is, according to him, a group of individual minds that are effective at working together to achieve goals. And we're surrounded by superminds in our society, from hierarchical companies, global markets, governmental democracies, scientific communities, local neighborhoods, and combinations of all these things. Superminds can also be simply groups of people and, importantly, even machines working together, which can act more intelligently than any single person, group, or computer has ever done before. So rather than seeing AI or artificial intelligence as a competitor to humans in the workplace, we should begin to see them more as collaborators. And for many of you who are graduating today and have been told endlessly by your professors that the present jobs that you will be looking for will become obsolete in 10 years' time and will be replaced by AI, we can perhaps see a more hopeful future where we can collaborate with artificial intelligence to create a supermind. It is not a zero-sum game as you enter the world of work. Groups don't always make better decisions than individuals, but they often do when they combine different perspectives, skills, and knowledge of their members. Professor Malone's research found that groups in which the members were more socially perceptive were more collectively intelligent, presumably because they were able to work together more effectively. It's very nice to be corroborated by a professor in doing something that we've been doing intuitively in SMU all these years. Now, the interesting point is that women, on average, are slightly higher on the measure of social perspectiveness his research used than men. And this is why maybe groups with more women are more collectively intelligent. And perhaps we've seen it today with some of our award winners being more women than men. And the men in the audience now have to recognize you have more women in the workplace, more senior managers, more CEOs as women, and certainly more women in boardrooms. But men do have this skill also, and what appears to matter is whether individual group members have this skill, although gender seems to have proven that collectively women collaborate better. Therefore, I believe that the education you received in SMU prepares you to be able to contribute very ably to the tackling of the issues faced by your generation as members of individual superminds in your community, and possibly even of Singapore as a whole as a supermind in the world community. You're ready to face the world in constant flux because each of you has been equipped with a range of soft and hard skill sets and ability to look at the big picture, even as you analyze the last detail, to use information technology productively, and to work as a member of a multidisciplinary team to develop innovative solutions that make a meaningful impact on business and society. If you can do that, you will have done us proud as future alumni of SMU. I know that this is advice that our guest of honor, Mr. Heng Keat, would approve of. He said on a recent trip to Japan in June that Singapore's single-layer system of government means it can be more decisive about test-bedding new technologies than most other countries. And this makes it an ideal partner for countries to test out innovations. He also said that Singapore has regulatory sandboxes, as he called them, where usual rules do not apply, and that allows for innovation to be tested and tried in a more experimental setting. This would allow issues to be identified quickly and early on, and for regulators to jump in, though regulation, in his words, quote, unquote, must not impede development, he has stressed. Yet this is also necessary, as he had said, to achieve the objective of a safer environment and to allow for the growth and development of new and interesting ways of doing things. We'd only wish that Mr. Heng Keat was an SMU alumni. Now, Mr. Heng holds a Master of Arts in Economics from the University of Cambridge and a Master of Public Administration from the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. He began his career in the Singapore Police Force in 1983 and then joined the Singapore Civil Services Administrative Service in 1997. He served a period at the Ministry of Education before being appointed the Principal Private Secretary to former Prime Minister and then Senior Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. After that, he was appointed CEO of the Trade Development Board and in 2001 became the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Trade and Industry. From 2005 to 2011, he served as Managing Director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, during which time he was named the Asia Pacific Central Bank Governor of the Year by the British magazine The Banker. And after winning a seat in Parliament in the 2011 elections, he was appointed as Minister for Education by Prime Minister Mr. Lee Hsien Loong. In this role, he drove programs for student-centric, values-driven education, emphasizing the holistic education of students and multiple educational pathways. And we are very much a grateful recipient of the policies which he enacted during those years. While at MOE, Mr. Heng also led our Singapore Conversation, a national consultation exercise that reached out to close to 50,000 Singaporeans in their aspirations for Singapore's future. In 2015, he chaired the Singapore SG50 Steering Committee, leading the celebrations for Singapore's Golden Jubilee. In 2015, he was also appointed Minister for Finance, and the Ministry for Finance manages the national budget, oversees the corporate governance regulations, and supervises the prudent investment and utilization of public funds and government reserves. In addition to all of that, Mr. Heng co-chaired the Committee for the Future Economy, or CFE, which charted the strategies for Singapore's next phase of growth. He chairs the tripartite Future Economy Council, which oversees the implementation of national strategies in areas such as skills and capabilities development, innovation and productivity, and industry transformation. He is also the chairman of the National Research Foundation, which sets the direction for Singapore's research, innovation, and enterprise strategies. It is therefore no wonder that he is considered a 4G leader. And I think you know 4G is not just our, I'm not referring to our Singtel telcos. Mr. Heng, in particular for us, is a very dear and good friend of SMU, not only from his early days as a senior civil servant in the Ministry of Education, where he was very much part of SMU's whole conceptualization. But more importantly, when he was the Minister of Education for 4 years from 2011 to 2015, he helped us enormously and set much of the pace and philosophy for our development. Besides being our guest of honor at the 2013 commencement ceremony, Mr. Heng has officiated at over half a dozen dialogues, talks, and other events at SMU. I'm particularly happy that he said today that this is the first time he has come to the School of Law. So we're able to now at least show you something new, although you've been with us for the last many, many years. Therefore, it gives me, ladies and gentlemen, great pleasure and honor to yet again welcome Mr. Heng back to SMU as a supporter, a friend who is always ardently honest, well-intentioned in his criticism, and knowing fully well that as a university as well as a country, the last thing we should do is to bask in our own hubris. And he has contributed so much to ensure that we will never suffer the dangers of complacency. May I ask you to welcome Mr. Heng.
Mr. J.Y. Pillay, Chancellor SMU, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, Chairman SMU Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and students of SMU, parents, and guests. Very good afternoon to everyone, and to the class of 2018, my heartiest congratulations. I'm especially happy to join you today because more than 20 years ago, when the government decided to set up SMU, I was Director of Higher Education at the MOE. It was the idea of our former president, Dr. Tony Tan Keng Yam, who was then Deputy Prime Minister. He had a vision of creating a third university in Singapore, one that would differentiate itself with a different teaching and learning approach to better prepare young Singaporeans for the future. I recall fondly my early meetings with Dr. Tan and your chairman, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, who gave excellent inputs on how to differentiate SMU from other universities. And I remember it was Kwon Ping who felt very strongly that SMU should have a city campus, and you are in a very lovely location in Singapore. Now, look at what SMU has achieved since. SMU has transformed 18 cohorts of students into well-rounded leaders who are versatile, bold, and articulate. And today, you join some 24,000 alumni of our alma mater. SMU graduates are highly sought after. You are recognized for your critical thinking and communication skills, cultivated through SMU's rigorous, multidisciplinary curriculum, interactive pedagogy, and opportunities for global exposure and community service. As a result, last year, for instance, 94% of SMU graduates were employed within 6 months of completing their final examination. This affirms SMU's efforts in delivering a holistic, multidisciplinary, and forward-thinking approach towards education. So the first steps of setting up SMU were taken more than 20 years ago, just when some of you were also taking your first steps. Both the university and you have made great strides since. Today, you'll be taking another big step into your professional life and into a world that has changed from more than 20 years ago. So what has changed from 20 years ago? Many things in every sphere of life, from booking a ride and finding accommodation for a vacation, to shopping online, to the security we go through before we board a plane, and the way we design buildings and public spaces to keep people safe from terrorist attacks. Artificial intelligence, genome editing, smartphones, Amazon, Taobao, Uber, Airbnb, these are among the things that have emerged in the last 20 years. Scientific breakthroughs, technological innovations, groundbreaking platforms, transformed business models, and even new languages have sprung up, reshaping how we live, work, play, and connect with others. And the pace of change is accelerating. In just 3 years, Brexit, a new US president with a very different approach to trade and international affairs, a populist surge in many parts of the world, the continued spread of global terror, and more recently, the looming threat of a trade war that will hurt all parties. At the same time, we continue to see great advances in science and technology, such as information and medical technologies, that will have significant impact on our lives. And even as regional dynamics are strained in parts of the world, elsewhere we see economies growing and regional cooperation gaining speed, for example in ASEAN and Asia. So what do all these changes mean for you? I think it is an incredibly exciting time with unbounded opportunities. But it may also feel uncomfortable at times with the world changing so rapidly. Today, I would like to share a few ideas on coping with an ever-changing landscape in the hope of stimulating discussion on how you can better ride the waves of change. Looking forward, we can see 3 major trends that will affect our lives in Singapore. The shifts of global economic weight towards Asia, technological breakthroughs, and our aging population. These trends are the backdrop against which you are going to live the defining years of your life when you are building your careers and families. While we know that changes will happen and happen faster, we cannot predict the future with certainty. In the midst of these changes, I suggest you seek to develop 2 qualities: connectedness and adaptability. Now, this day last week, I was in Argentina for the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting. The major topics of discussion were about change, in the nature of work, in the global economy, how we can prepare our people for it. Before Argentina, I made busy and fruitful trips to Amsterdam, Delhi, Mumbai, Tokyo, Beijing, Shanghai, and Nanjing. I met with political and business leaders and many Singaporeans in these cities to get their views and explore how we can cooperate better with our partners. And in between these work trips, back home, I've continued hearing from my residents about the issues they face and also meeting with ASEAN friends to discuss how we can grow the ASEAN community. Now, all these are all very important and also all very different. Different places, people, and agendas. What is the one thing I had in common in all the places I traveled to? A humble but indispensable thing, an adapter plug. Wherever I went, it was the first thing I took out of my suitcase and the one thing I always make sure I never leave behind. Whenever I found myself, my adapter plug allowed me to plug in, draw power from the places I went, and stay connected. So let me say more about connectedness and adaptability. Connectedness via air, sea, land, data links, our people-to-people ties, and our trade and investment ties with all parts of the world has opened up opportunities at home and overseas for Singaporeans and Singapore businesses. In our next phase of growth, connectedness will be more important than ever as we position Singapore as a global Asia node of technology, innovation, and enterprise. At the individual level, how can you be connected? It's by having the curiosity and sense of adventure to venture beyond a comfort zone. At the same time, have the humility that there is always something to learn from others, as well as the spirit of community, that even as you learn, you also try to offer something back, a two-way connectedness. We are fortunate to be in Asia, a dynamic and high-growth region with a wonderful diversity of cultures to learn about, and also a great deal of opportunities where each of us can make a contribution. It is good that many of you at SMU have ventured outside of Singapore to study or work. Last year, for instance, 87% of SMU graduates participated in some form of overseas programs, while 72% of SMU graduates participated in overseas internships, work attachments, and academic exchanges. This global exposure means that you see life from a variety of perspectives. And all this will be of great value in your career, but more importantly, it makes you a better person. The question now, once you step out of SMU, is how do you maintain that connectedness? I hope for each of you to build up networks of connectedness and community that will open for you insights, opportunities, and ways to grow and give back. I encourage you to be daring, curious, and to have the openness to know the region well and see the world. By engaging with different people all over the world, you will share experience and knowledge that will take you and your organizations further. And it's not only by crossing geographical lines that you can be connected. You can extend the same openness and curiosity to those who come to Singapore to study or work, and look out for ways to make connections across disciplines of study and fields of experience across different social groups and communities. Now let me speak about adaptability, which is the ability to adjust yourself readily to different conditions. Linguistic and cultural adaptability helps Singaporeans to venture beyond our shores. Going forward, we will need to adapt not only to changes in location, but to changes in technology, the nature of work, and the world around us. So how can you be adaptable? For a start, we need to develop our cultural sensitivity and fluency. in the different political climates, business environments, and social contexts of other countries. Adaptability is about an active ability to find commonalities amid differences and a genuine readiness to collaborate so that we can build connections and rally people around what we have in common to solve problems and create new value together. Singapore is a multiracial, multi-religious, and multicultural society, and growing up in Singapore gives you a head start in developing such cultural sensitivity. And amongst you are also many students from overseas, and that gives you a great forum for interaction. So I hope that you will continue to build on this. In Singapore, we also enjoy the advantage of bilingualism. I hear this repeatedly from Singaporeans working overseas. They told me that they were always grumbling when young about studying mother tongue in school, but now, out in a culturally diverse world, they are grateful that they can draw on stronger deposits of language and cultural capital to build partnerships. I'm happy that SMU organizes a range of cultural exchanges and immersion programs for students to learn and work with students from other countries. I hope for each of you to have true adaptability across diverse cultures and unpredictable conditions so that you can do well and be of value to others. The ability to adapt, reskill, and upgrade will become a critical advantage as the nature of work changes. As you step out of the Institute of Learning today, learning does not stop. Instead, you will embark on a journey of lifelong learning and actively search out opportunities to remain adaptable. Most importantly, I hope you will build up and keep the confidence and graciousness to welcome and respect people of all cultures and backgrounds, and to recognize that we are all better off adapting to be able to work together than staying rigid and being at odds with one another. By staying connected and adaptable, you can be the important element in any grouping that others wish to have around. But is the idea to just be like an adapter plug? I don't think so. All of you are driven by purpose, passion, and the desire to make a difference to the world. You are an engine in your own right. So even as you stay connected and adaptable to changes, you'll have your own sparks of inspiration and energize others with your own unique current. At times, you'll find your battery drained when you could do with a dose of courage, confidence, or conviction from others. At those times, remember that you are always plugged into a larger network at home, in your community, amongst the SMU alumni family, with Singapore, and in the wider world. So may your life after SMU be a time of discovery, growth, and giving back. As I conclude, I would like to acknowledge Professor Arnold de Meyer, who will be stepping down as SMU president at the end of the year. When I was at the Ministry of Education, I had many interesting meetings with Arnold, who is always thoughtful and constructive. Arnold has led SMU through a new phase of growth and excellence in the past 8 years as president. Under his watch, SMU has continued to deliver a transformative education experience, and attested by the continued success of SMU graduates in landing meaningful global careers and securing competitive starting salaries. SMU's postgraduate programs, as well as its executive development and continuing education units, have expanded during this period. Arnold led in expansion of the SMU campus with the development of the School of Law building where we are right now. And as Chairman Conferring have mentioned, this is my first time in this law campus, a lovely campus. Arnold has also led and was actively involved in SMU's internationalization and reputation building efforts, particularly in China, India, Southeast Asia, and Europe. I was very happy to hear from Arnold during our lunch earlier that when he was wearing the SMU t-shirts, walking around in Paris, somebody say, oh, this is Singapore Management University. SMUX, the brainchild of Arnold, has gained global recognition as innovative experiential learning and is becoming an integral part of SMU's pedagogical DNA. I'm glad that Arnold is staying on to help us with SMUX. So thank you, Arnold, for your outstanding contributions. I trust you'll keep your ties with SMU and Singapore strong. Let's give a round of applause to Arnold. And to our graduating class, I wish you all the very best in your endeavors. I hope that you will make the connections, adapt to change, and shine as you fulfill your purpose. I join your families, mentors, and professors in sharing the happiness of your graduation, and my heartiest congratulations to all our proud parents here. You have spent many, many years grooming your children, and seeing them reaching this very important milestone in our life must be of immense satisfaction and fulfillment. So my heartiest congratulations, best wishes, and highest hopes to every one of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. May we invite you to take your seat.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm from LKCSB, Leikongqian School of Business.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm from the School of Accountancy.
Hi, I'm Patrina. I'm from the School of Economics.
My name is Shraddha. I'm from the School of Information Systems.
My name is Lin Tan. I'm from the School of Social Sciences.
My name is Dominic Liu and I'm from the School of Law.
I also embarked on an overseas community service project to Yunnan in China. It was really a very eye-opening experience for me because we had a lot of interactions with the locals there. It's really very meaningful to give back to the society and to have a positive impact on the world.
After graduation, I hope to work in technology for a few years and save up enough to do a master's after that.
In China, in this rural village called Tashkurgan, we went there to speak and teach Chinese to the minority group living there. And me being Malay, it was a kind of a big language barrier. I learned a lot about the culture there, a lot of my friends, a lot about the way they live their lives in Tashkurgan.
My plans after graduation is to join the public sector. Based on my experiences there, I will see which area I want to specialize in so that I can contribute back to the community.
SMU Law itself really trains you to have a more rigorous mind and really be able to take more punishment, so to speak. Be able to handle stress, think on your feet, craft arguments carefully, which I think is really important, not just for any prospective lawyer, but I think for any person that is going to graduate and go out to the working world today.
I'm from SMU Commencement, the school's business case club. What we do is we travel to different parts of the world to compete against other business schools. Last year, a team and I went to Thailand to compete in the Thammasat Business Case Challenge, where we won first place. And it was a great experience for me and my team, and we had a lot of fun together.
As student leaders, we were given a lot of freedom to express ourselves and ideate and implement solutions for the sporting community, and this provided a lot of opportunities for learning and growth outside of the classroom.
We are the class of 2018! Woo!
How you throw one, you come back and that's so great. And now, the final step before all of us can be recognized as SMU graduates. Graduates, please rise. We now invite SMU Chancellor, Mr. J.Y. Pillay, accompanied by SMU President, on stage to officially confer the undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. Chancellor, please.
By the powers granted pursuant to the Singapore Management University Act, I hereby confer upon you the degrees shown respectively and admit you to all the accompanying rights, privileges, and responsibilities. You are henceforth proud graduates of this university, and I bid you to always uphold the good name and standards of this institution. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor. May we invite you back to your seat. Congratulations, everyone. Graduates, please take your seats. We now invite SMU President, Professor De Meyer, to deliver his address. President, please.
Thank you. Guest of honor, Mr. Heng, Keat, Minister of Finance, Mr. Pillay, Chancellor of SMU, Mr. Ho, Chairman of the SMU Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and students of SMU, parents and guests. A good afternoon, a very warm afternoon and a very warm welcome from my side here at this commencement ceremony. I'm really delighted to be here with all of you today to share in the joy of our latest graduates and in the pride of the families here in front of me. Today is significant as it marks the end of one exciting period in your lives, but it is a commencement, right? It is also the beginning of a potentially far more exhilarating adventure. Your hard work and achievements have taken you closer towards your aspirations, and they deserve to be celebrated today. 4 years ago, you were sitting in a gathering like this, excited and full of enthusiasm, I hope, at Convocation 2014, after your freshman team building camp, of which we saw a few pictures. You had been selected during our rigorous admissions process, and you showed the potential in benefiting from SMU's transformative education. Many of you, when you first joined SMU, were actually a bit of timid and unsure of yourselves. But over the years with us, you learned and acquired knowledge and a whole range of different skills. I'm especially pleased that many of you have come up to me and remarked that SMU has helped you to create a different you, one who is more confident and articulate, and hopefully with a strong sense of ethics and social responsibility. You would also have had a journey through SMU filled with many valuable opportunities. I hope that you seized these opportunities to give yourself an enriching experience. You had the chance to discover the world, to study and form friendships with your peers overseas through global exposure, which is from next year onwards a mandatory part of our SMU education. Many of you, or nearly all of you, went overseas to spend a semester in a partner university for student exchange, to do internships, community service projects, or business study missions. And many also participated in overseas cultural programs and CCAs. Moreover, you also learned and experienced helping the needy and the less privileged in society. And I hope you found out that you can make a real difference. As I said, I hope that these experiences have given you useful knowledge and also made you innovative and resilient and with a sense of social responsibility. You have learned that when things go wrong and you fail, and I bet there were a few of those moments during the last 4 years, you have to pick up yourself and find another way to overcome the obstacle. As Mr. Ho and Minister Heng already mentioned, through SMUX, many of you have experienced what can be achieved when you collaborate with others to tackle real-world problems. You have the analytical skills, the creativity, the communication skills, the focus, and the determination that prepare you for leadership and success in your career. all of the hard knowledge you learned here will be important in the early years of your career. But it's developing SMU graduates' drive, your initiative, and a can-do attitude that is actually most valued by employers. These qualities will help you move onwards and upwards in your careers. Now, as the word or the ceremony today is all about commencement, don't forget that education is actually a lifelong process, and Minister already referred to that. You have learned how to learn, and now need to constantly hone your skills and upgrade your knowledge. We hope that you will continue your lifelong education journey with us through our rapidly increasing range of postgraduate executive and professional programs and the SMU Academy. Today I also want to acknowledge the parents, the siblings, the relatives and the friends present here today in this hall. You have played such a crucial role in these graduates' journey and their achievement. Today is a big celebration for you too, when you see your son or daughter moving up on the stage to get the degree later on, the scroll later on. You can tick the box. It started about 16 years ago, even more in many cases, when they went to primary one. Your investment today has its return on investment. I hope it's a good one. I know it's a business school graduation today, so let me stay within that vocabulary. Until now, you had to work for them. Maybe they will now work for you. I hear a few applause there. That's a message for you guys over there, right? Anyway, today is a big celebration for you two, parents and siblings and boyfriends and girlfriends and whatever. Please, graduates, join me in giving them a big round of applause. To our new graduates, you now join the ranks of some 23,000 alumni. Like Minister, I encourage you to stay connected with one another, with your schools and with the university. I'm sure you will cherish the enduring friendships that you have formed and nurtured here. My thanks to all of you also who have kept up the SMU tradition of contributing collectively to a graduating class scholarship. Your contributions will enable needy students to enjoy the same SMU education that you have had. We truly appreciate your generosity. As Minister already pointed out, we are heartened that every batch of our graduates has enjoyed high employment rates. And as you step into the working world, I actually urge you not only to work, but to carry with you our circle values of commitment, integrity, responsibility, collegiality, leadership, and excellence. Carry them wherever you go. These values are a vital part of SMU's holistic approach to education. At SMU, both the training of graduates intellectually and the nurturing of graduates with a heart are critical to the mission of the university. Therefore, in recognition of the students who have embraced these values, the university confers on them SMU's Circle Awards at the commencement ceremony each year. Circle Award winners have been actively involved in serving and giving back to SMU and the community at large. They have demonstrated leadership abilities, are upright in character, and well respected by peers, staff, and faculty. They are role models. To them, the award winners of these circle values, but to the entire class of 2018, my heartiest congratulations and best wishes to all of you. I am confident that you will make a positive impact in your chosen field and help to shape a better world for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Please remain on stage to present the Circle Awards. From the Lee Kong Chian School of Business, Gladys Lim Jie Wei. Tan Hui Yi, Giselle. From the School of Accountancy, Sean Hugh. Sun Jielin. From the School of Economics, Elizabeth Ong Sing Yi. Rahul Gobindram Tadani. From the School of Information Systems, Kester Yo Jiajun. Tan Zhiyang, Keith. From the School of Social Sciences, Ang King Keat. Clara Chong. From the School of Law, Benedict Chan Wei Chi. Sriram Jayakumar. Congratulations to all of our Circle Award winners.
There's something about being around people with a spirit of boldness that's just super contagious. I went to Cambodia as part of an overseas community service project. I think what really struck me was just the spirit of joy and gratitude that the people there had. I want to be able to be joyful in the midst of struggles and be thankful for what I have, whether it's big or small. The friendships you get to graduate with, they can really last a lifetime. People who root for your success, who celebrate it as if it's their own success, and knowing that there were always people on my side cheering me on no matter what it was, really kept me going throughout the 4 years at SMU. I love SMU. I'm really thankful that I get to call myself an SMU student, and if I had the chance to do it all over again, I think I really would.
If I were to sum up my 4 years in SMU in one word, it would definitely be transformation. I entered SMU with the intention to grow into a more confident speaker, comfortable with speaking to new people and also presenting my ideas in front of a crowd. SMU has challenged me and helped me grow holistically both as a person and a professional. Personally, SMU has helped me to break out of my shell to become a more confident, articulate and comfortable speaker. Professionally, SMU has prepared me both in terms of hard skills and soft skills, making me well prepared for the workplace. For that, I am truly grateful.
May we now invite SMU President, Professor De Meyer, to present the awards. Let's welcome Jillian Ng to receive her SMU Salutatorian Award. Let's welcome Sung Jielin to receive her SPH Valedictorian Award. Thank you, President. May we invite you back to your seat, please. Jielin will now deliver her valedictorian speech.
A very good afternoon, guests of honor, SMU Chancellor and Chairman, trustees and senior management, distinguished guests, parents, friends, and fellow graduates of SMU Class of 2018. Before I begin my address proper, I'd like to personally dedicate this award to the ones without whom I would not be standing here today. I would like to thank God and my family for their unconditional love and unwavering support all these years. To my grandparents seated in the audience, Aya, Anya, 我很高兴你们今天能够参加我的毕业典礼。谢谢你们这么多年的养育之恩。Thanks also go out to professors and friends that I met in SMU who have inspired, challenged, and helped me along the way. To the graduating class of 2018, congratulations on completing a significant milestone in your life. I would like to congratulate all the fellow award winners, as well as every single graduate from the class of 2018 for everything you have achieved in SMU, regardless of whether it is recognized on or off this stage. No matter how your SMU journey has been, I'm sure every one of us has moments to remember, little accomplishments that matter to us, and people we want to appreciate. I think my proudest achievement at SMU will be seeing how much I have grown out of my comfort zone these past 4 years to become the person I am today. Today is the day where we celebrate each other's achievements as well as our own. Today is also a day to reflect on our past few years in SMU, to be thankful for the good times and learn from the bad times. I dare not say that I can fully understand the struggles that each SMU student went through, but there were definitely times where I failed, faced rejection, felt inadequate, and was simply overwhelmed by the weight of expectations of those around me. As an introvert by nature, my greatest challenge in SMU was running for student elections for the Accounting Society Management Committee, only to fail in garnering enough votes to be voted in. However, through this incident, I developed a stronger resilience towards failure. Furthermore, if not for this outcome, I would not have taken up a leadership role in SMU Habitat for Humanity, the community service club that allowed me to pursue my passion in serving the elderly community. I came to learn that sometimes one door closes in order to redirect us onto another path, and everything works out in the end. I'm sure all of us have had low points and struggles during our time in SMU, perhaps some more so than others. To those among us who went through significant trials to get to where we are today, I congratulate you and would like to especially applaud you on this day. As we begin to embark on the next phase of our lives, paths start to diverge and the road ahead looks increasingly unclear. At times like these, it is important to figure out what our purpose is and to have a certain direction in life. Because if we don't decide the course of our lives, chances are someone else will. I'm afraid that too many of us may end up pursuing, chasing, and striving after something that someone else wants, only to feel disillusioned and unfulfilled at the end of the day. Therefore, today is a good time to recalibrate and think about where we are headed and where we want to be. Pursue things that give you lasting joy because life is a marathon and not a sprint. I will end off with one of my favorite quotes from Theodore Roosevelt. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. May we pursue our goals with purpose and optimism, not forgetting who we are and what we've learned during our time here. Let us be graduates who lead fulfilled lives while leaving a positive impact in society. On behalf of the class of 2018, thank you SMU for lessons learned, friendships gained, and life-changing experiences. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations once again. All the very best.
Thank you, Xielin. Congratulations to all award winners of the class of 2018.
There is far too much to take in here, more to find than can never be found. But the sun rolling high on the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's the circle of life. And moves us soul through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding. In the circle of life.
up for SMU Chamber Choir, Eurythmics, and City Samba for the exhilarating performance. Let's give them another round of applause, please. Well, I'm very sure that, this 4-year journey had indeed been difficult, but we've definitely created numerous wonderful memories, and the person that has been with us right from the beginning is none other than our very own SMU President, Professor Arnold de Meyer. We would now like to invite Professor de Meyer to join the performers on stage to take a bow, as this is his last commencement as SMU President. Professor de Meyer, please. Alright, come on class of 2018, let us all rise now to give Professor de Meyer a standing ovation for a job well done. Faculty members, please rise as well. We would like to thank Minister Heng for gracing our opening ceremony.
When